The shocking truth about Airbnb. Airbnb and other homestay options have exploded worldwide. We've been watching this trend, but before jumping on board, we wanted to research Airbnb's unknowns to determine if they were worth it. Despite its expanding popularity, Airbnb and similar competitors have numerous worrying problems, prompting many to wonder if there are any ethical alternatives to Airbnb. Today's video shows what it's like to open this trend's Pandora's box. You may be startled, as we were. Airbnb is widely used without issues. Remember that travelers have different priorities. We can get first-time Airbnb guest discounts from one of our many travel bloggers. However, these services have their place, and we'd rather explore the unpleasant facts that discount codes hide before booking a stay with a home-style housing service like Airbnb. And in today's video, we'll look at some of the shocking truths about Airbnb. So let's get started. You should check local laws before booking on Airbnb. New York, USA. Did you know that in 2014, 72% of NYC reservations were booked without permission? This unsettling reality was uncovered in a report on Airbnb listings provided by the New York State Attorney General's office. To ensure that there is a steady supply of long-term housing for New Yorkers, the city has passed a rule making it unlawful to rent an entire flat on Airbnb for fewer than 30 days. Despite this, New York City is one of Airbnb's most popular destinations because of the wide variety of short-term rentals offered to visitors. Barcelona, Spain. According to the city council, about half of all vacation rentals in Spain's second-largest city are operating illegally without the proper license. Airbnb was fined €600,000 in 2016 by the city of Barcelona for defying municipal regulations by advertising unregistered units. Because of this, inspectors in the Catalan capital walked the streets looking for unlicensed rentals by cross-referencing property listings with licensing information. As a result, authorities can shut down unlawful properties, evict the squatters, and punish the owner €60,000. Paris, France. Despite regulations in Paris limiting short-term rentals to no more than 120 days per year, in 2015, 44% of Airbnb listings were for homes that were always available for rent. This worrisome finding prompted a survey that led to raids around Paris and fines of up to €25,000 for hosts. But now the government wants to raise the penalty to €100,000, as Berlin did, so that authorities can ensure that the 120-day limit is not exceeded and that hosts do not evade paying taxes. Hosts must now receive a registration number from the town hall. This is happening in other countries and cities too. If you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet to show your support. Now let's continue. Airbnb's negative impact on the locals. This one's of the lesser publicized issues with Airbnb. While vacationers can have a cheaper vacation by renting a home through Airbnb, locals who need to remain in the city are hit with higher rent costs as a result. To the locals, tourists are just another group of guests looking for a place to stay. The only distinction is that locals require it long-term, whereas hosts can charge more to tourists for shorter stays. In 2018, for instance, home rents in Palma de Mallorca, Spain, climbed by 40% due to the island's 50% increase in tourist lets. Most locals were forced to leave since they could no longer afford to live there. For this reason, the island's voters decided to prohibit Airbnb rentals to keep housing costs low for working-class people. Trying to cut costs on a trip shouldn't mean jeopardizing the livelihood of a real resident. Our goal as invisible tourists is to help the communities we visit, not to disrupt them. Concerned locals have voiced complaints to Airbnb about the influx of visitors who are constantly arriving and departing at odd hours and lugging their stuff up and down the stairs of apartment buildings. Long-term inhabitants can understandably grow tired of the constant thumping and noise. Living in a city where over 200,000 rental units are empty because landlords refuse to rent to locals or anyone, we've witnessed firsthand how this has influenced the rental market, driving up rates and making long-term leases for locals increasingly difficult to come by. This is neither fair nor ethical for the locals who are just getting by. It's common knowledge that some Airbnb hosts operate their lodging establishments as legitimate businesses. Indicators that an Airbnb is being used as a long-term residence instead of a temporary residence include using a padlock or combination touchpad in place of a key on any exterior doors, as well as no smoking signs and other posted guidelines. Privacy issues. So, a host has permitted pals to stay at their apartment without disclosing it on Airbnb. As a result, the couple's weekend away may not be as romantic as they had hoped, and there may be fewer opportunities for the meaningful private moments they had hoped for. Recently, rumors have been circulating about Airbnb hosts installing secret cameras in guest beds. Guests should be wary if they see anything out of the ordinary, such as an alarm clock or a smoke detector in an unfamiliar room. The device may be wired to the internet, and the host may monitor their every move. On the other hand, we won't have to worry about returning to our hotel room to find a stranger waiting for us after a day of sightseeing. Very little chance of being spied on in a hotel room. Insurance protects guests, so the hotel doesn't have to conduct surveillance on them. Capturing footage of another person without their permission is always inappropriate. There are some more dark truths about Airbnb, but we'll not be discussing them all today. Well, that's all for today's video. Tell us in the comments section how this one was. I hope that you found this video interesting. If you want to see more videos like this, please consider subscribing for more. And don't forget to give comments and provide us with your valuable feedback. We'll see you in the next video with some more interesting facts and stories. Until then, stay tuned.